welcome, Rosa, and thank you for accepting our invitation and being here with us. I will copy your short CV as I have modified it, and I will put it in the chat. So everybody and those people who are not here yet will know who you are. And the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Lena, for this amazing introduction. It's just crazy how time passed really fast. I remember when I started in the film industry, I was like just out of the university. I was looking for a job, and this is a really funny story because I met at that time my boss in a signing for a film that we're promoting. This was Twilight, the Twilight Saga, the first film, and they flew Robert Pattinson to promote the film, and I was one of the girls like who wanted to see the actor, and I was looking for a job, and I didn't know that I wanted to be on the film industry. But it's like, it looks so cool, like this amazing event in a mall with so many people bringing actors. And I saw this guy in the telephone, and I just asked him, I'm looking for a job. And he was like, oh, okay, I'm looking for an assistant. And that's how I ended up in the film industry and working in the film industry and promoting now.
We say, being in the right place at the right moment.
Exactly. And I think the most important is that I dare to ask, because like a lot of times we don't dare to ask, we don't dare to just to talk to that person, to just send an email. It's just ask, especially in the film industry. Like, you never know the opportunity where that opportunity can come from. So yeah, so I definitely encourage you to ask if you meet someone.
If you hear the advice, please follow it. I mean, ask.
Exactly.
To ask.
Exactly. So thank you so much for being here. I'm going to start sharing my screen. If you have any questions, you can either put it on the chat and we can discuss this in the end, or I don't mind, you can just interrupt me and you can just unmute yourself. You can unmute yourself and you can ask the question yourself. So because there's a lot of information, especially when you are in university. I think when you're starting out, and even when you have a lot of experience, film marketing, it's a topic that is not taught anywhere. Like, that someone does it, that it's like you need to do it, but they don't teach it on universities, they don't teach it anywhere. And so there's like a lot of information that you don't know. So please ask, and yeah, I can share with you the comments. So I'll start my presentation. This is the basic components of field marketing. So what are we going to talk about? So today we're going to talk about basic concepts. So the first part, we're going to talk about the 3 concepts that you need to take into account when you are promoting a film. And these 3 concepts you can apply it to when you're selling your film. And when I refer to selling your film is the distribution part, and also you can use it for promoting your film. So, well, Lena already introduced me, so I don't have anything else to say. I'm from Mexico. I've been living in Europe for 8 years now. Yeah, I live in 5 countries. I have promoted more than 120 films. I have been part of different marketing campaigns in America and Europe now. Actually, now that I live in Europe, I'm doing more things here in Europe and helping more filmmakers to do more things with their films in this part of the world. But yeah, so once in a while, I do have clients in America. So it's funny because Europeans, they want to go to America and promote their films there, and Americans, they want to come here and promote their films here in Europe. So yeah, it's really interesting. And basic concepts of film marketing. What do you need to know before you start promoting and doing all this noise around social media, creating your social media profiles? Even, yeah, this, you can also work in these concepts even when you are in the development. You don't have to wait until the film is produced. Actually, if you start film marketing since development, it's easier to promote your film. And the first thing that we need to know and we need to be aware is, who is your target? What is your audience? What kind of audience? It's not the kind of audience that you're looking for, but it's the audience that it's the film. So for example, and the one mistake that I hear a lot is they always come to me and they say, my film is for everyone. It's not. Any kind of film can be for all the people. I mean, it is impossible, and it's really tiring, because then you will be targeting, the marketing actions will be for different audiences, and that's really tiring, because then you need to do, instead of one target, you need to do like 5 or 10 different things for each target. So the first thing that you need to know, it's what is your target. So because you are specializing in documentary, so the documentary has a really niche target, and this target, I can tell you now, it's people who has a certain level of education. So it's not the people who hasn't educated themselves, maybe at university or postgraduate studies. People who they're open about new topics, and probably this is, and the age maybe is between 30 and 50 or 60 years old. Also, I know for a fact, and because of my clients and the films that I have promoted, that documentary is most seen in Europe. So Europeans have a better, like, a taste, or they like documentaries than Americans. So Americans, they like more fiction, and when they distribute the documentaries there, and most of the times it's really a really small amount of copies. This is for most of the times I refer, when it's a distribution, it's in film theaters, so cinemas. And when you are in Europe, you can see most likely more documentaries, and also people is more used to different languages. So you see depending on the country, but at least you are, for example, Denmark, they like documentaries, and they don't have a problem with reading subtitles. While in Spain, they don't like to read subtitles, and they like dubbed. So they like to have the movie dubbed into Spanish, Castilian. And depending, Italians are the same. They don't like to read subtitles. So you also, if you have a film in Italy, you also need to dub it. So it depends of the country. They are more used to other languages than others. So it's really important that you know your target. Now I more or less told you what is the target for documentary, and this is an audience between 30 and 50. It can be even 60. People who is educated. It is open for new topics, new cultures, and they like to know what is going on in the world. And also, I think it can be men and women. It's not like, I hadn't seen any tendency of women liking more documentaries or men. So it's like, you can take your partner to the cinemas. You can also say, oh, I saw this a documentary on Netflix or in this on-demand platform, so we can watch it together. The next step is, what are you going to do? Now that you know your target. In this case, in this presentation, we are going to focus between this target that I described to you, that it's documentary. And so now that you know what is your target, what are you going to do to actually show your film to them? Or what are you going to do in order for them to know that you have this film, in order for them to talk about your film? So this is the marketing actions. So what are you going to do? So all these ideas that you have, all these ideas that, oh, I want to do videos and I want to be on social media and I want to bring the actor and I want to invite people, experts talking, so they can talk about the topic. What else? Like, yeah, most of the time now video is like that thing on social media, or having social media everywhere. So also, when you know your target, you know where do you need to be on social media. Because, for example, if you have a documentary, you won't find that target on TikTok, for example. That's gonna be challenging. So maybe Facebook, that's a good place for you to actually promote your film. But we're gonna talk about that more about that later. And after you know the marketing actions, that you have all these ideas, how are you going to do it? Like, how are you doing it? This is a marketing plan. This is a basic. This is something that sometimes you have the production, you are ready to distribute it, but you don't have a plan. You don't have a plan to promote it. You don't know how to do it. It's just, okay, so what is your plan? Yes, I'm gonna do social media, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. So then you don't have a plan. And a plan means that you know when and what are you posting. Not only social media, but social media is like a really, really small part of film marketing. Like, we can talk about different things like exterior. We can talk about PR. We can talk about going to film festivals, markets, having a strategy for your distribution, like distribution plan. How are you going to promote it? So it's like social media is like a really, really, really small part of that marketing plan. So you need to know what you're going to do in each stage of your film in order for that film to go out, and in order for that film to get known. So this is the three things: target audience, marketing actions, and marketing plan. Three basics. You cannot forget those. So now that you know the basics, we're gonna go to the selling part. How do you sell your film? So the first thing, you are in development, you produce. If you're lucky, maybe you already have a deal and you sold your film before you finish. But most of the times you have a film and you don't know what to do with it. So when you are selling your film, this is the part of film distribution. Distribution, sometimes we mistake distribution with film festivals. Film festivals, experts of film, like people who do the film festivals, they also call that part distribution. But that's not the distribution, the financial distribution, but where you actually earn the money. But the film festival distribution is where your film might be picked for others to buy your film and make money with it. So it's very different, that distribution, the film distribution part, the film festival distribution, from the film distribution itself. So it's really important you have these two things separated. So when you are selling your film to distributors, to broadcasters, to be on-demand platforms, and when I mean to others, it can be planes, it can be buses, it can be even in, like, when they have, like, into the doctors, elevators. There's so many channels where you can sell your film. when you are selling your film to these people, you need to have a plan. That's why I'm telling you, and I explained in the beginning the 3 things that you need to know. So these 3 things that you know in film marketing can be adapted to each one of the phases that you are with your film. So in this case, what do you need in order for your film to at least be seen? Because distributors and these people from this page, I'm gonna go back again. Oh, I went back 2 times. Here, distributors, broadcasters, the on-demand platforms, they have so many content to see. They have so many films from where they need to choose that they have filters. They have different filters, so they can choose which movies they want to see. So the marketing materials, they probably gonna ask you. If they don't ask you, you need to have it. This is a sales pitch deck. This cannot be longer than 10 pages. It should be really easy to read. Maybe you have your poster there, your data sheet, who is behind the project, and who are the main characters, if they are important. So for example, this could be interesting if you have a film and you have a really interesting actor or actress there, or you have a producer that is important, a film director. If they're not well known, don't waste that page in that person, because like you won't be picked because of that, and it's longer and they won't read it. So self-page deck, I always say 10 pages at the maximum, and obviously later maybe you can add some information, and please use like a really nice design. Also the poster, and actually I have seen this in Sinando, and when I attend film festivals, they offer me to see to watch the film, and then obviously I see all these things, and sometimes they don't have a poster, they don't even have a trailer, they don't have a clip, so I don't know if I'm interested in watching the film or not, and a data sheet. So all those things you need them in order for these people who are buying the films. They need to see this, and I am not the one saying this, but I have clients who have said that to us, and we have had webinars where they have said to our community, I don't watch films because they have so many that I need to have the poster, I need to watch the trailer before, I need to see who is in it. But the most important, I think, from these 4, if we need to pick, is the poster and the trailer. So you have a sales pitch deck, they will ask for it. It's better to have everything before. So when you are asked for those things, you don't need to worry about, it's like, I need to do it. I have 1 day to send that, to send this material to them, and then it's gonna be ugly, and you know, and you risk that they're not gonna choose your film because it's not well presented. So if you have this in advance, it's gonna be points for you, I assure you, and you will be ahead of other filmmakers. So this is the marketing. This is the marketing materials for the film, for selling your film. And now we're gonna go to the part where you promote your film. So I have met a lot of creatives and film directors and producers that they don't like marketing. They always say, no, I don't like marketing. I hate it. I studied this because I want to produce films. I want to create films. But the bad or good news is marketing needs and is part of it. So if you don't know how to sell your film, no one is going to see it, no one is going to watch it, you're not going to earn money with it. And in the end, a film is a product. Yes, it's art. Yes, we like it and we can do it for free, but the goal with working in the film industry, the goal with producing films is that you earn money, and when you actually work in a film distribution company, films are treated like products. Films are treated the way that who is making more money, and then you compare, and then you actually we have these comparisons between, oh yes, I had this film, and this film is related to this, how much money this film made, so I know more or less how much money this film's gonna make. So we compare things. So this, I'm telling you the same to you. You don't need to love marketing, but you need to learn to like it, and you need to learn how to do it, because at the same time, when you are producing, you need to tell the people in your marketing team how do you want things done. Because like I can come to your film, and I can be the marketing expert, but then I say all these ideas, and then you're like, no, I don't like it, because they're so close with the marketing. They have one idea, and they don't know marketing, but they don't like the ideas. So it's like, it's really difficult sometimes to meet in the middle. So if you learn marketing, at least the basics, and at least how to promote like in a very basic way, then you are ahead. And the number one thing that you need for your film, we're gonna focus in this part of the presentation, we're gonna focus in digital marketing. Why I'm focusing in this part, in only digital marketing? Because as I said, film marketing can be really, really broad, and it has different ways of promoting a film. But I'm focusing on this because it's the cheaper one, it's the fastest one, and it's easy for people. It's easy for people to do it. So I have known people that are maybe, in the end, you produce a film, maybe you have a big crew, or maybe you have a 10 people crew, but in the end, who stays with the film is either the producer or the film director, and they're doing everything. They're doing promotion, they're doing selling, they're doing social media, they're doing everything. So the easiest way for you to promote your film is digital marketing. Use those tools that already are there. They're for free, and you don't need to pay anything. So the first thing that you need is a landing page. We always focus in having a website. So what happens in the past years, and I always recommend not to do it, is to create a complete website of the film. So I don't know, someone just thought this is a great idea. I just create a website for the whole film. I just use it for a few months, and then I just leave it there. And what happens is, it takes years. Now with the internet, it takes years for a website to position, and it's just no one will find the information about your film if you build a website from zero. So I always recommend only a landing page, and also it can be there as a portfolio for you. If you are working with a production company, then it can be part of the portfolio of the production company. If there are several production companies, all of you, that you can collaborate, and you can decide where to host the landing page. I don't suggest that it's 2, 3, 4 landing pages, only one, because then the information will be all over, and it won't position well in Google. This is the SEO. After you have a landing page, you can, I won't say open your social media, but I always suggest to use our social media that already exist. Again, I don't know who had this amazing idea to have new profiles for each film that you have. And again, it's a lot of work just to have your own personal social media profiles is already hard to follow up. Then now imagine having social media profiles for each one of the films that you are producing. So even when you are in university, they already ask you for maybe 2 or 3 projects. And then when you graduate, you will be working in the film industry, so you will have more projects to do. So don't open new social media profiles. Again, use the ones that you already have. I don't recommend it. Well, if you feel comfortable sharing in your personal profile, it's okay. But then also, if you have a production, normally there's a producer or a production company behind the film, use those social media profiles of them, because it's easier. It's easier for you, easier for them, easier for everyone. You won't have to fight with so much content and you won't get tired. And also, it's really important that you don't lose the audience. You don't lose, even though it's completely like, maybe today you're doing a documentary and maybe in 2 years you're doing a fiction, and then in 3 years, it doesn't matter. Like, it doesn't matter if you are doing different, like different genres, because you can, social media, just people forget. And if it's people who is following your path, is following you as a person, then it will be really interesting what you're doing from today in 10 years. And also, you never know. I mean, social media can end tomorrow. Facebook can end tomorrow. Twitter can end tomorrow. So do you remember MySpace? I don't know if you remember. I don't know how old you are. You are in university, probably you are really young. But before, that was this platform called MySpace, and it was really popular in the United States. And then just died. And then there was another platforms like High Five. And I think the longest social media that's been around is Facebook. And young people is not using it anymore. So young people is already on TikTok or Snapchat or even Instagram. But Facebook, it's getting old. So don't worry if you are creating content for one social media. Try to create content for other social medias, but don't have too many social media profiles, because then it's going to be too tiring for you and overwhelmed, because in the end, you're not a social media manager. You are a creator, and you also need time to do your things with your films. Step number 3, build a mailing list. This is super important. I have had clients where they had like different projects and they never dare to build a mailing list, because they didn't know, like, I don't want to ask for the mailing list. Maybe my project, the next something, the creators and producers, or if you're producing a film, is they have a problem with the genders. If they're doing a documentary now, and then maybe next in 2 years they're doing a fiction, they're doing action, they're doing horror, they don't want to confuse the people who sign up. But it doesn't matter. I mean, they understand. So build a mailing list. I think right now this is the most important tool, because even ads are not working well anymore, and Google it's going to erase cookies, I think, really soon. If it's not this year, maybe next year. So what is cookies? Cookies are when you enter a website and then ask you, do you accept the cookies in this website? So you obviously all the people accept the cookies, but the cookies are little bytes of information they get saved in your computer. So they know like what kind of content that you like. So these cookies are done in a way, or the snips of information are in your computer. So when the client, so Google Ads has these clients, and the client is doing a specific campaign, and they know the target, they know like what kind of content are you preferring, that what kind of websites are you visiting. So this is the information they have for them to actually build the campaign. So everything is data and information that we are exchanging with Google in this case. Also Facebook, all the things that you put in Facebook, like the kind of groups that you join, and the kind of friends that you have, the kind of content that you watch, the videos. So what they do is also Facebook clients build a campaign, and what they do is they target you related to the content that you are watching, or the content that you, or the groups that you're joining, or the kind of friends that you are befriending. So yes, so I don't know, they said that probably this will disappear in one point, because it's a lot of data leaks, and in the end it's information, and it's really it's, I mean, if something happened like the leaks, the data leaks, or something happened like what happens with Trump's campaign and Facebook, it's really risky for them. So having a mailing list, they give you permission to actually write them, and you can write them, you can use that mailing list. You're not you're not robbing, or you're not doing this ad campaigns for them to see your film, but you actually are you're actually asking to these people to actually give your mail. To build a mailing list, it takes time. It takes a lot of time. So that's why I also say to you from the beginning that it was really important that you actually start marketing from development, because you can start the mailing list from there, and then you actually make sure that you have some people in your mailing list. And then step number 4, having a content, first, creating content. You will need to actually create lots of content depending of which platforms are you, and which platforms it's in your marketing plan. And also if it's video, if it's written, if it's images, if it's stories, depending, as I told you, it's like depending the platform, depending also the material that you need to create. So first, having a lot of content to create. So this is related to your ideas and the basic of having this content, these marketing actions. So this is related to that. And also having a content plan. So it's not because today you have like an amazing idea. Oh yes, I'm gonna make this video, or I'm gonna post about this. It's gonna be amazing. And then next day, I was going to post something. I don't remember. And sometimes inspiration hits, and you are really, really eager to write and to share and then one day you have 2 posts, or 3 or 4 or 5, and then the next 10 days you don't have anything. So have a content plan. Actually, if you use Facebook and Instagram, if you have a Facebook page, a business Facebook page, they have actually their schedule. So they have schedule tool. You don't have 2 minutes for free, and you can set the hour, you can set the day, you can set what kind of, if it's a video, if it's a story, if it's a reel. Now that it's like really in trend, the reels. So you can use Facebook Creator, it's called. So if you have Facebook, you can use that tool, and it's really easy it's really intuitive. So you can learn to use it really fast, and you can just put the content there. So maybe once a week, 2 hours a day, you can just have the content for that week, or for 2 weeks, or for 3 weeks, depending how fast or how good you are with creating content. And then the final step, and I think the most important is something that creators, and when you are promoting a film, is missing, is consistency. So you need to be consistent. So consistent action creates consistent results. But if you have your social media and you only have posts during just because you were picked in a film festival and you were really excited and you are posting like crazy just for the film festival, and then after that you just leave your social media, that's not consistency, and people will forget you. So make sure that you are consistent, because that's what's going to bring more people to watch your film. And I think I finished on time. Well, it's 8 minutes to 6. So let's connect. As Lena said, I am in LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. You can just find me there. I'm happy to connect with you. This is, well, my email. So if you have any questions. And thank you for your time. If you have any questions, I am here to answer it.
Okay, thank you so much, Rosa, for this wonderful presentation. I think the students would like to focus a bit more on film festivals because, you know, student films, their first target is usually film festivals. And because we have a good documentary festival, the Thessaloniki Documentary Festival in Greece, which is an international festival. It is considered one of the best 3 or 5 in Europe, depending on who is giving the statistics. You know, IDFA is first, of course, and then Leipzig, and then most of the people consider the Thessaloniki Documentary Festival third. So, also, we had an evaluation from the European Commission giving out the statistic of Thessaloniki Documentary Festival being the third one most important in Europe. In my opinion, also CPH docs is very important. But I think that at this point, maybe we should open the floor for questions. And then we stop at 7 our time, 6 your time to take a 10-minute break and then resume. And if you would like to talk a little bit about how our students should be handling film festivals, how to use film festivals, how to select the film festivals that they will submit their films, because of course as I have told them, going to Cannes is not a marketing strategy. Going to Berlin is not definitely a marketing strategy. And maybe the best idea, in my opinion, is to start from small film festivals in our region, starting from the national, international ones, and then try to create a word of mouth and try to win some awards in smaller European film festivals of most preferably Southeastern Europe or the Balkans, which is basically the same geographic region. And then, using those awards and the word of mouth created to start aiming for bigger film festivals, Central Europe or Northern Europe, or even abroad in the world. I think we have a question from Andreas. Andreas, he's asking something. Would you like to? I can answer that, but maybe I can answer, and then Rosa can share her view. As a filmmaker, can you be a producer and a marketeer at the same time? You have to, Andreas, because at this point, at your level, you don't have the money. You cannot afford to hire a marketeer unless you are rich. I don't know. But
or you have budget. You have a big budget.
And that's why we are here in this class, and that's why we have invited Rosa to share her views and to enlighten us on how to use and how to learn a little bit about everything. Because let me tell you, if you're not knowledgeable in everything, a little bit. You need to know a little bit of photography, a little bit of editing, a little bit of production, a little bit of direction, a little bit of sound recording, a little bit of sound design. If you don't know a little bit of all that, then you cannot collaborate with other people. And as I have told you, film is a collaborative art. And if you don't know what to ask from your collaborators, then you cannot pick, you cannot select the right people to work with. Here we are not, as Carol Colmenares told us in the previous session, she said, okay, we like to work with our friends, but this is not a professional environment, okay? You can work with your colleagues from the university, you can work with your friends, of course, but when you want to get serious, of course, you can have your friends on board, but make sure that those friends are evaluated and selected with professional criteria. And in order to have those professional criteria, you need to have learned a little bit of everything. You need to have developed yourselves those professional criteria. And this is my viewpoint of that. I think you need to be flexible and to be able to adapting, as you very correctly asking, in situation that you have to cover different roles in if nobody else can cover those roles for you. And let us hear Rosa and then have a break and come back in 10 minutes. What do you think, Rosa?
I couldn't agree.
Interesting question.
Yeah,
very interesting.
I couldn't agree more with you. I mean, it is true. I mean, this is real. You need to be, of course, you can be a producer or a marketer, but at the same time, it's really important that you know it's the same. Yeah, it's the same process as you said, producing a film. So you need to know a little bit of sound design, film producing, all these roles, because then you know how you want your film and who is more related to your view, if you're the film director or if you're the producer. So it's the same. You need to know the marketing, because then you know what kind of campaign or what kind of things that you like. What happens in my case, especially promoting, when you are working with in a film distribution company, you have a certain way of doing things. They let you do things because the producer or the owners of the film, they're not there, and the films are treated in a way that it's a product. So you do the marketing campaign and you sell it, you just put it out there. So sometimes the producers are involved, sometimes they're not, but they know they cannot mess with the marketing campaign too much. So we are the experts, right? But when I am working with people that it's independent and maybe they're doing their own film distribution, or maybe they want to do the marketing, they don't know. They don't know what they like. They don't know where they want to be. They don't know. But when you present ideas to them, they don't like them either. So this is why it's very important what you said. It's important that you know a little bit on marketing. You don't need to be an expert. But as I told you before, you need to learn to like it. You need to learn, this is part of the deal. This is part of the cheery job, like the entrepreneurs will say. So you don't like it, but it's necessary. So, and also, I think Andreas mentioned here, if you want to promote a film in different countries, in my experience, and as I told you, so the producer, and most of the times is the film director when it's a really small project. The film director is the one who becomes the producer and who becomes the marketer and who becomes like the head of everything. They do everything. So what I always tell you, like if you have a film and you want that film to be international, then maybe you market that film in your own language. In this case, you're Greek. So maybe do it in Greek, but then after that, change to English. So you don't have to change to each one of the countries that you want to go. So you know that it's English. English is the international language. It's also the language of the industry. So you don't have to worry about, oh, I need to translate this post or whatever I'm doing to Spanish. If you have a really specific campaign in Spain, then you approach to someone that knows that industry in that country. Because sometimes you think you know I'm telling you, I've been promoting so many films from different countries that they have different ways of promoting. That's culturally is different, and films it's just a cultural experience in each country, even though it's the same film.
Okay, thank you. Let's take a 10-minute break and be back at 7:13. Okay?
Perfect. To the different festivals, it can be overwhelming. So it's like, where do I start? How do I do it? Like, what kind of film festivals should I choose for my film? So I think everyone, and I think it's okay to think big when you want to go to Cannes, when you go to Berlinale, when you want to go to Toronto. All these film festivals are really, really, really well recognized, and it's okay that you want to be there. I want to be there. Like, I don't have any film and I want to be there. So it's okay to want to be there, but also you need to be realistic with your film and know how, like, what is the potential of your film. I mean, if you have a small film, and when I mean small, it's like really limited budget. It was you and your friend doing the documentary or doing the like making the film. You don't have any team. I mean, of course, we can hear all these stories in the film industry of films that they thought they wouldn't do any money, and you can see them on screen. So that can happen, but I think that's the less. That's not the normal. The normal is that you follow, as Elena said, a strategy, and I'm all about strategies. I'm all about plans. You need to have a plan before you go out there and sell your film and go out there and choose the film festivals.
And convince the audience to see your film, because even if you're selected in a film festival, it doesn't mean you will have a full room.
Exactly.
Maybe you can take the 50 invitations or whatever number of invitations each festival has in its policy to offer to filmmakers, but still, you will have your friends, and this is not a real feedback. Your first presentation in a film festival, you want to get a real feedback from a real diverse audience, and not your friends. Of course, your mom, your dad, your friend will tell you what a great filmmaker you are. Nobody will ever tell you, okay, I didn't get this point, or I think this part doesn't really work. I mean, it remains unresolved, or okay. And I used to work for many years, for 15 years, with a person who passed away last year, Dimitri Eipides. He was a very, very talented festival director. He was the creator of the Montreal Film Festival in Canada, the founder of the Thessaloniki Film Festival, and its director for 18 years. He was a senior programmer for Asia and Europe for the Toronto Film Festival, the artistic director of Reykjavik Film Festival and Cyprus Film Festival, and so many others. And he was the person who picked the first short film of Jim Jarmusch. So he used to say to me, you know what? There are more festivals than good films. The number of film festivals exceeds the number of good films. So
yeah, and I think every year there are more and more. This is really easy to have to open a film festival, and then also these platforms make it really easy as well. Like you have a film festival, maybe you have one programmer, one jury, and you put it on Film Free Away. The cost is $10 or whatever, and so, and also, yeah, it's like the two parts. It's like you have the film, this film festival people who complain about not seeing or not watching good films, and then there's the perspective of the filmmaker who said, like, they don't watch my film. That I remember I had this client that she was like really upset because she believed that film programmers, film festival programmers, they didn't watch the films. So so it's like the two side of the story. But yeah, it's really interesting how film festivals just like pouring. Like you see all these platforms. I have also another client that she has a film platform. Like it's a film festival platform. So you put your film there, and they have this like really interesting tool, because you will see it's like only a website, but actually they have like a really it's an algorithm that they train. So they also suggest film festivals for you, and you have, okay, you can submit your film to these film festivals. It's here. And the way I think the basic of film distribution in film festivals is actually going, again, who is your target? So who is your audience? Like this audience, where are you going to find it? So if it's a documentary, are you sure they're going to be in Cannes? Are you sure they're going to be in Berlinale? We want to be there, obviously, but your target probably is not going to be there. So it's going to be in Thessaloniki, because we know that Thessaloniki it's specialized in that kind of films. Or horror. Like horror is really big around the world. I think a lot of people is fan of horror. And when they have horror, they don't want to go, yes, if they can go to Cannes, but I haven't known anyone, if they have a horror film and say, I want to go to Cannes. They said, I want to go to the film festival in Spain, that it's like really into horror film. Yeah, so they want to go there. It's like that my film, if it's selected there, that's the film festival. So definitely you need to learn how to navigate the film festival. And I think it's important to talk about budget, because how much are you willing to spend in submitting your film? Because sometimes it can be, I had this client, she didn't have any marketing strategy, she didn't have any film distribution strategy, and she had spent like 5,000 euros in submitting her film. And it wasn't even a feature, it was a short film. And then after that, she actually did, okay, I think I need a plan. So it was like, oh my, it just took you 5,000 euros to get to the plan. So it's better if you start with a plan, then in the plan, you choose actually the film festivals, and you don't spend the 5,000 euros that you actually.
I would suggest that you kind of research the profile of film festivals, because each one of the film festivals, even in Southeastern European region, has a different profile. I mean, there is one in Bulgaria, Sofia Documental. There is one in Georgia, Cinedoc Tbilisi. There is one in Zagreb, a great one, Zagreb Docs. There is one in Romania, Astra Film Festival. research, do your research and see what kind of documentaries do those festivals pick. For instance, if Thessaloniki picks first or second documentaries for its competition program, there is another section called newcomers. Maybe you should be applying to the newcomers section, not just generally to a film festival. Try to find a connection. Who is programming newcomers, for instance?
Yeah.
Who is programming these specific sections that fits your film in Zagreb Docs or in Sofia Documental or in Serbia, in North Macedonia? There is also another great documentary festival called Makedocs. Okay, why don't you research what kind of sections all those festivals have and where would you fit, and try to find a connection with the person in charge of selecting the films. That's why I keep telling you, use your national, international festivals. And definitely, if you're accredited in a film festival, you don't just go. I offered you, I facilitated you to get accreditations to the last Thessaloniki Documentary Festival. Did you go via Sinando and check who else is attending? And if there is a distributor, a marketeer, a festival representative, an acquisition person, someone you would like to connect to now because of GDPR, of course, personal emails and personal data are not included, but there is this platform, Sinando, and you can contact all those people. You can see their profiles. You can find, for instance, there is this great channel, Arte, which is German and French together. And they have a special section devoted to documentaries. And the person who is in charge of acquisitions of Arte is Madlina Vramousis, who is of Greek origin. And every year, she is attending Thessaloniki Documentary Festival, Madlina Vramousis. So she is there. And if you are accredited, you can go and attend the pitching forum, which is at the end of, well, the pitching forum lasts for 5 days. The first 3 are closed sessions, but the 4th and 5th day, yes, the 4th and 5th day, respectively, they are open to the filmmakers, to selected filmmakers who make presentations, and in the panel, one of the 12 people sitting in this panel is Madlina Vramousis. I'm not talking about Madlina Vramousis. There is also Filipa Kowarski. Filipa Kowarski used to have a great sales agency for documentaries called Cinephile in Israel, but basically been active in the United States. Google it, Cinephile. But then Filipa Kowarski, since 1 year now, she is in charge, the head of documentary in BBC. It is called, the special section of BBC is called Cinephile. Okay, and Filipa Kowarski is there. And Filipa Kowarski is a friend of mine. She's every year, it doesn't mean anything that she's friends. She wouldn't pick anything without evaluating it. The thing is that you need to have all those marketing materials that Rosa presented before in order to contact Filipa Kowarski or Madlina Vramusis or whoever, okay, in order, or a film festival programmer. Film festival programmers, I told you the other time that half of a film festival program comes from submissions, the other half comes from the artistic directors and the film festival programmers personal contacts, because you know
Yeah.
which film will be produced, because there are, in each film festival there is a market, and in this market we have co-production forums, we have works in progress, docs in progress, so you know what is going to be completed next year. And if it is any good in the stage of development, then you will look for this film, you will look it up, and the first material they will ask you for are marketing materials, are pitch decks, are posters. These materials are a trailer. Okay, so be prepared. Don't go without to a festival without having done your research and your homework first. Don't
Yeah.
just show up. I mean, research, study Sinando. Otherwise, don't go at all. I mean, it won't help you. You will just be one single spectator, one number in the audience, but you're not going there as a part of the audience. You're going there, or you seek to be going there as professionals, right? Or wannabe professionals, whatever. Okay, so do your homework. And I would now suggest to make it a little bit more interactive, and instead of looking at me and Rosa all the time, let's make a hybrid physical class. Also know that all festivals now are hybrid. I mean, hi, Nicoletta. Nicoletta was a student. Open your mic, Nicoletta. Unmute. Okay. Nicoletta was a student when this graduate program started some 5 years ago, or
no, years ago.
Okay,
Years
okay.
ago.
And I keep meeting her in Thessaloniki, in Nisiros, in other places. And last time I met her in, no, she was on the phone with another student, Nicolas, who had his film in the most recent Thessaloniki Documentary Festival. And he was asking himself and me what to do, where to submit his film.
Yes, exactly. So many film festivals. But I starting doing the job. What's my target group? What's my audience? And
Nicolette actually is helping Nicolas having the role of marketeer, right? See?
yes, our last project, the short film Rooms with a View, has gone really nice in Greece. And some articles wrote about us and what is the film about. So we are looking for film festivals, but there are so many. So I started doing the job, especially we're interested for independent, mostly, and more artificial festivals. So I'm doing this job. And also I'm in progress to a documentary, not a short one this time. So I'm in progress to my second documentary film.
Good to hear. Good luck with it.
Yes, yes.
And Rosa gave her email, and you have mine. I mean, will be our pleasure to help you out, Nicoleta.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I haven't finished yet, but I am available to do all the job we just said, all the file, all the marketing, and I have a film that can make all this job.
Okay. So pick carefully and if you need a second opinion or on your pitch deck or your poster or whatever, or if you want an opinion on the actual film,
Yes, of
we're
course.
very open to help.
Of course, I will need. And thank you so much.
Something interesting, because we are talking about these materials, and something I had this conversation with someone I met in Berlinale. She's a programmer, and she said, when I see the films, like when I need to watch films, it wasn't a programmer for a film, for a cinema chain, not for a film festival, but it was a cinema. So she was a buyer, and she said, when I don't see a trailer, when I don't see a poster, I don't watch the film.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows, maybe programmers, they do the same, because there's so many films out there that is like, okay, if they don't bother to show a poster, if they don't bother to create a clip or a trailer, why should I bother to watch the film? Because they don't tell me what it's about. So it's like two ways. Filmmakers, they complain because they don't watch the film, but filmmakers don't do their job, and they don't show that the first part, so the programmers or the people who's buying the films can actually fall in love with the film. So it's good that you're working in your marketing materials already.
I would like to ask you, both of you, a question a little. Anyway, how much role does play a low budget film, documentary film? Is it something negative? Here in Greece, we are starting with low budget documentary films, but with a small production company.
It doesn't matter to me. I
Okay.
think as long as you have a story to tell, which is a cinematic story, meaning that cinema is the best way to narrate this story, then there you go. I mean, there are very low budget, especially documentaries, which have gone great in film festivals, in everywhere. And there are high budget documentary films that stink, simply.
Yeah.
As long as you have a story to tell, there you go.
I have a story about this, having a low budget production. One of he took a course with us, so he was like my online client. We never do the marketing or anything, but he took a course with me, and he had a really low budget film, but his film was selected in many film festivals. It never hit the cinemas, but I don't know how someone showed the film to Elsa Pataki. Elsa Pataki is the wife of Chris Hemsworth. So if you have seen Thor, you know who is this guy. So they watched the film and they like it, and they bought the rights for the American version. So this was a low budget that actually is becoming a blockbuster in the United States. So as long as you move your film and you do the job, so in the end, maybe there are bad films, but how many bad films we have seen, we have watched at the cinemas, we have watched but people go and see it because they have a great marketing campaign. It's the same for low budget. So if you have a great marketing campaign, people watch the film, and who knows, maybe can just get to the right people, and you sell the story to someone else who has actually the budget to do it in a better in a better format. This is real. This is I'm not joking. This is like firsthand. He was my client.
Very important. So we have chances.
Of course, yeah.
Okay, what about you guys? Anyone, any other brave people who want to show their faces and share with us some questions or some discussion simply? And you know, Rosa, Nicoletta knows, of course, because she has gone through it. The final paper for this class is a media development application. So it requires
it was
a development
really
strategy, a financing
very
strategy.
important.
Nicoletta,
that's really interesting.
I know it's difficult, but it also requires a marketing strategy. So I know that you'll hate me now for for this assignment. I know, but
well, they will
me,
thank you. They will thank you, Lena, in a few years.
Let Nicoletta tell you her experience.
It's
hard work.
One of the most important knowledge I have ever taken in all my film studies. Really, it helped me a lot, even to write proposals.
Yes.
Not only to make a marketing plan, how to write a proposal.
Exactly.
And after I graduated 2 years ago, three proposals have been
submitted.
Yes. But I followed all the steps, keeping in my mind how to write the script, to understand someone, what the marketing is, what the target group is, who concerns this project. But it helped me a lot. It was very important knowledge, and I'm grateful.
And I think it's really important. I mean, it's an amazing.
No one.
You hate it now. If you're doing your project that you want to finish, but in a few years.
I know you hate me now.
Very difficult then. And I would like to tell something else to the other students, because I know what they are studying in other universities in Greece, because I have a lot of friends, and I studied in New York College, but no one make us this exercise to make a proposal to Creative Europe Media. It was very important. So take this chance.
Not only for Media Creative Europe, but also for the Greek Film Center, the Greek Public Television, to start from the national funds. I have uploaded, guys, all the funding. Maybe Nicoletta, because I have some, I don't know, Nicoletta, do you still have access to the platform, to the BBB platform of our university? Okay, then because I have uploaded new stuff, updated stuff, like how to create pitch decks and what questions should you answer in order to prepare to write a proposal. Then I will email you all this stuff, because you have no access anymore. Yeah,
Thank you.
Okay, I think it will be helpful. Okay, any other questions? Any brave ones? What about you? Michalis Bastakis has a very interesting proposal. It is about, he's from the island of Crete, and there is a village there. And because of the climate, the geographic phenomena, the geological phenomena, there is a village which is sinking every winter and then coming up to the surface every summer. So
Wow.
Michalis is doing a documentary on this village. And he also shared in the class that the inhabitants of the place, of course, they have been compensated to relocate, but they are coming back and they're having in August, I think you said, Michalis, on the 15th of August, which is one of the greatest Orthodox
Yes, in August.
the St. Mary's. We celebrate Santa Maria, okay, in Greece. And is it on this date, Michali, that they're coming back and celebrate and they
Yes,
reopen?
it's on 15 August. Sorry about my English. My
No,
English
it
are not
doesn't matter. Please share
very
your
good.
thoughts. It doesn't matter.
Yes, this is the project that I'm planning to do. Thank you very much that you explained to the others. And thank you for the wonderful speech.
Thank you for your attention, Michalis, and we wish you good luck with this very, very interesting project. And also Lazaros, you are an educator, so show up. He has also a very interesting project. Why don't you tell us a few words about it? Lazaros is an educator who decided to study in this graduate program to enrich his knowledge. He's also coming from a place in Greece which is not the capital. It's not Athens, it's Pyrgos. Lazare, are you there? I don't know. Well,
That's bad
okay.
luck. It's like he's called when he's not there by the teacher.
Okay, also Maria Margariti, are you there, Maria? I haven't seen you. I saw you in the beginning, but now, okay, no. But Anna, what about you, Anna? Anna also is living, she's not living in the capital, in Athens. She's living in Rhodes, in a very beautiful island, and she's planning to do something on, there is a special technique that they're putting the stones in Rhodes. And okay, would you like to explain a little bit, Anna?
Sorry, I had a problem with the microphone. Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, my project is a documentary about the technique of pebblestone floors, which is a traditional practice here in the islands of the Deccanese where I live. And this is a documentary that I believe it would be very useful for sustaining heritage. And I think that it would be very important if we could promote it mostly to education and schools. So that
not only that, it could be a historical documentary, because mosaics, it's an ancient technique, not only in Greece, but I also think in Mexico you have mosaics.
Yes.
Rosa, right?
Yes, we have that kind of it's like walls, like beautiful walls, and also Spain. They also probably this technique comes from the Spanish in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yes, but
the word in Greek.
But the pebblestone technique, it's not the same with mosaic. It's the ancestor of mosaic. So it was there before mosaic. Mosaic is kind of the development of pebble stone technique, and it's very ancient. So the mosaics appear in antiquity, of course, but some centuries after the pebble stones. But the interesting thing is that this is a technique that still stands, and even though it was ignored for several years because it's really hard to use a stone floor, it's not very practical. Nowadays, people start to, they turn back to tradition and they start rediscovering it. And there are efforts that we start using this technique again. So I believe that this documentary would help promote it and highlight its importance. And of course, for this documentary, we would use some marketing. We would like to use marketing tools that would mostly make it attractive for educational reasons, for schools, universities, and educational organizations.
I would say, however, that this target is a secondary target. After the first life cycle of your art product, your first target should be film festivals, create word of mouth, search for historical historical sections in documentary festivals, and try to get selected there. And then being in a library of a university or secondary or elementary school or whatever, or a specialized research institution probably, or, the art of renovation or whatever, that would extend the life cycle of your documentary, because you would be there forever. But your first target, remember we talked about windows between, the windows before of your premiere, and then when you go next, and you go next, and you go next, and there are time windows between those different screening platforms. Let's name them this way. So I would suggest that you should target on also primary audiences first, and then secondary, because they will be there for the entire life cycle of your documentary.
Yes,
it is interesting that Anna is also working with the scientific advisor. Would you tell us a little bit, Anna, about her?
Yes, she's working for the archaeology department of the Decanese, but she has also special interest, a personal interest in the pebble stone technique. She's the, I'm not sure about the terminology, but a conservator. She's conservating, maintaining antiquities.
Renovator, I think.
Works of art. And
yeah.
That's what her specialization is, and she's guiding me to this documentary because she has already made the research on what is still there. I mean, which works of pebble stone floors are still existing, where, how are they made, and where I can find the people who are still working on this technique. So she will be the kind of the main character.
Guiding us through your research.
Exactly. And she will be interviewed throughout the documentary, but also there will be interviews from masons, craftsmen who are working on the pebble stones, also some trainees who are learning the technique nowadays. And of course, we will also present some archives. There are with photos from very old pebble stone floors, and how they developed into mosaic. There is a lot of work to be done, and I hope to travel also to other islands, not only Rhodes, because it's a technique.
You need a budget for that, Anna.
I will pay it myself because
you would be self-funded in this documentary, but it would also be interesting to follow the procedure of restoration, if there is any kind of this work being done in any of the islands, especially Rhodes.
Yes, because there is a lot of restoration work that is done, because these pebble stones really need maintenance, and especially the antique ones, they find some of them in excavations and they need to restore them. And yes, and so also restoration work will be a part of the documentary, in this documentary. And hopefully we will try to take it to festivals, and if it's good, maybe the university could help out in this to guide us where maybe we could address in which festivals that are appropriate for this kind of theme.
My advice.
Something, Lena, something that I always advise to when we are working in the marketing strategy. I didn't mention it in the presentation because it's a tricky, it's a really tricky subject, and you need to understand. But I think, especially for documentaries, doing finding sponsors, or not sponsors, but finding exchanges with organizations, NGOs, or already companies that are doing something related to the topic that you are producing. It's something really interesting, because they are interested in doing things with this kind of projects. So, for example, I have this. One of my clients, we were preparing their marketing strategy, and we talk about these collaborations. And she was doing documentary, a short documentary in how's it called? Well, it's a disease. I don't remember now the name, but okay, it's a disease. So she did, after our conversation and the marketing plan, she got the collaboration with a very big European NGO. So she was like, maybe I will go with the one that it's in her city. But I said, go big and see if you can do something else, and what you do with us in exchange. Mm-hmm. So what you do is I allow you to use some part of my documentary, or maybe you do a premiere or something that has a cost, obviously. In exchange, you give me access to your mailing list, you give me access to your database, you give me access to, if they have a PR, sometimes they have a PR, they release press releases, or they have a like a marketing budget. So maybe I have done films, like really small films, where they have put advertisement in the streets. Mm-hmm. And because you do an exchange. Mm-hmm. So if you know how to do it and you know how to sell the film, like these companies and these NGOs, and they might be interested in doing something with you. But the thing there is that you need to negotiate. You need to be like, mm-hmm. I'm giving you this, but mm-hmm. it's like, in exchange, I want this and this and this. Maybe mm-hmm. it's a lot. Maybe they will say, no, you're crazy.
You can always try.
Exactly, you can always try, and
you can always there as
exactly
we started
exactly
this session. And before we end, because we only have 1 minute, maybe Rosa would like to summarize, starting from there, and then be consistent. But I won't take your words. Maybe Rosa, you would like to summarize what we talked about today.
So
Keywords.
really, in a few words, remember the basic: target, marketing actions, your marketing plan. Plan not only your marketing, but if you are going to film festivals, having a plan for the route that you're gonna take in your film festivals. And also each film festival has their own strategy, their own plan. What you're gonna do there if you get selected, what you're gonna do there to actually advertise it, to actually market your films in order for other people to come there. Is very different selling your film to an audience. So it's the people who watch your film, to selling your film to film distributors, broadcasters, video on demand platforms. So have ready your marketing materials. That's really important. Your trailer, your poster, your slide deck, and your data sheet. Because instead of running around, oh, they asked me for this, you already have it. You can send it right away, and they won't forget you. And in the end, don't forget your basic marketing campaign, that is having a landing page, social media, mailing list. And I didn't put it there, but I think having these exchanges with companies and different people who can actually support you. So for example, Anna, that is traveling to other islands. So maybe she can be funded, because this is an interesting topic. Then maybe the government of other like municipalities will be interested in get to get other people to know. So it's just, and also learning to negotiate. It's like you need to believe that you have a good product.
Thank you so much, Rosa,